Ubisoft has released Star Wars Outlaws gameplay, and there's been a lot of opinions about it, mostly that it looks bad, which is not really surprising with a Ubisoft game. It's like, you expect people to have a negative reaction with Ubisoft games, because historically their games are not good. And you should be watching that gameplay now, assuming Ubisoft doesn't give me any copyright issues because of it, but there was 10 minutes of exclusive gameplay footage posted to IGN, and it doesn't look the greatest, okay? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it looks horrific, but it's not confidence-inspiring at all. A lot of the lighting is just not great, and the shadows are not great either, which I guess is kind of the lighting, but it seems like it's mostly lighting and shadows. It's a big problem here. I also really hate the hair texture. It looked so bad. Like, the hair actually annoyed me when I was watching the gameplay. Like, I'd rather have the hair just be flat like a Lego than see like frizzles and stuff on it that doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. Like, it doesn't look natural, it looks like it's bugging out. And on the scenes where they're in the desert riding the bike, the character model itself just looks wrong. Like, it looks like the lighting is just incorrect. But if you're gonna show gameplay footage, you should probably make sure it's gonna be perfect, especially when you're Ubisoft, because nobody likes you, Ubisoft. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like, Ubisoft has managed to piss off, like, literally every single person who liked their franchises in the last, like, 20 years or so. Watch Dogs was really where it started going downhill because that was a fat lie. That entire presentation was just made up, and none of it could actually be done in the game. And the trailer for the game looked a lot better than the actual game. That trailer was such a lie. Like, you could do all the hacking and stuff, but, like, it wasn't as good and it wasn't as fluid as they showed in the trailer, which I guess kind of makes sense. But it was a gameplay trailer. It should have shown the actual gameplay, but instead Ubisoft lied. And I guess them showing the actual unfinished product is better than them lying about it. I'd much rather have that personally. But yeah, it's not a great impression for Star Wars Outlaws. And for the 10 minutes of gameplay, most of the graphical problems come from the areas with lots of light, which is funny because that should be, like, I think a little easier. I could be wrong on that. But, like, the low light situations look okay. Like, there's no issue with those, really, that I can see anyways. They look okay to me. But yeah, the outdoor stuff, it just looks wrong. The character model lighting looks slightly different than what it should be, I think. Like, in this bright open desert, why is the character model so, like, not lit up? It just doesn't feel right. And I saw some people saying PS3 graphics, and I'm just gonna say, it's not, okay? If anything, it's like PS4. Here's some PS3 graphics. It's not this bad, okay? It's bad, I agree, but it's not this bad. This is terrible. Also, please like the video down below and subscribe if you're new. I greatly appreciate it, thank you. But if you were hyped for this game and you saw the price and then you saw the gameplay reveal, I would understand why you would be pissed off. Because yeah, for the price they're charging for this game, it should look phenomenal, okay? They're charging $70 for the standard edition, which is like the new standard, okay? Not the worst thing in the world. I know I don't like it personally. The gold edition is $110, which is already insane. Like, that really just includes a 3-day early access and a season pass. That's insane. And the ultimate edition is $130 and just gets you like 3 different items. What is that, dude? Like, that's insane. The only difference between the standard version and all of the other versions is skins. That's it. And they're charging you like $60 extra for like 3 skin packs or something. It's kind of insane. And I mean, you also get the season pass, which as of now just gives you a single mission and another character pack. If this game flops, I don't expect them to add any extra content in the future. I'm gonna be honest. They'll probably finish whatever they started currently, but they probably won't continue doing stuff after that because I mean, like, we saw that with Suicide Squad. That game flopped and they just didn't do any more content past what they initially promised. And I could easily see Ubisoft doing the same thing. They are not above that at all. It's Ubisoft. They are terrible. And Ubisoft just doesn't have a good track record for me to have any faith that they'll actually do something with this game that's not gonna be bad. And in terms of the graphics, I don't see them improving after launch. Like, they might, like they might improve, but I just don't see it. Ubisoft has a terrible track record when it comes to just making things that are good. Like, Rainbow Six Siege is a really popular game, right? They've basically ruined it for the players that still play it by making a really bad subscription tier system for the battle pass. Like, it's really weird. But Ubisoft saw their game dying, and instead of just making it better to attract more players, they just made it worse for the people that still play it so they can still make money. Like, I'm not a fan of that at all. The people who are still in Stockholm Syndrome with your game are being screwed because you can't get more people to play because you suck at your job. That's what that is. And games naturally die. Okay, that happens all the time. But from what I understand, Rainbow Six Siege is dying because the hacking problem is really bad. And I've seen a lot of different takes on what they need to do to fix the hacking problem. And from what I can see, no one would like any of the fixes. So I think if you can't fix the game, you should probably just sunset it and make a new one and transfer stuff over. Because from what I've seen, they would have to make a new game to get rid of exploiters and cheaters. I could be wrong. Those are things I write on the internet, okay? To be clear. But either way, Ubisoft does not instill confidence in anything they do, ever. And it's kind of an unfair position because if a different studio released this, I think they would have gotten a lot less criticism. But since it's Ubisoft, people are going to be a lot more critical because they've made mistake after mistake after mistake. And going back to the gameplay, it really just is a lighting problem for what I can see. And a lot of the effects just look cheap. And the character model's so weirdly lit. Like, I feel like this character model in this shot right now should be way more lit up. They're in the sun. Why is it they have like a constant shadow above them? I don't get it. Okay, there's also this one shot where there's like a grenade that goes off and she gets exploded. This shot looks horrible. This is not done. This shot is not finished. This looks really bad. And most of the effects look bad, like the particle effects. Like when she's sliding down a hill, it looks really weird. The effects look really pixelated in a bad way. And there's also some points where the gameplay lags, which is never a good sign. Because this is being recorded on a dev computer, I assume, or a dev kit, which either way, both of those things are more powerful than whatever you would use to play a game. They're meant to play a game without any optimization. So they're usually insanely overpowered. The fact that there's any lagging at all is not a good sign. There's also one scene towards the end of the gameplay where the player shoots an explosive barrel and this thing explodes. And the guy to the right of it isn't alerted. He's just confused. Like, what was that? Was that an explosion? It was right next to this character and he didn't even respond. He just looked at it confused. Like, oh, this happens all the time here. Things explode all the time here. And the explosion effects with the grenade launcher look horrible. These look unfinished. Like, it looks like whoever made them went on YouTube, typed in green screen explosion, and then put it in. I am not exaggerating. I've seen this effect before. The gameplay reveal being so unfinished is very, very concerning. Or I guess the exclusive gameplay given the IGN being this bad is concerning. Because this game comes out in a month, and they couldn't even make the exclusive gameplay reveal look polished. That's bad. That's really bad. Because, like, you got to think about it. They curated this to send to IGN. This was, like, handpicked, and this was the best they could do with hand-picked footage. It's really not confidence inspiring. I really just think it's not done. Because the environments, for the most part, look okay. I'm really not a fan of how much everyone blends into the environment, though. Like, all the colors are very much the same. I'd like to be able to see the enemies I'm shooting at, thank you. And something I didn't even notice is that Ubisoft made this gameplay a fetch quest. Like, the thing that they're known for and everyone hates. I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan, but it's kind of disappointing to see, like, the universe not be utilized to what it could be. Like, you have this entire universe with lots of cool things in it, and you just have fetch quests. Find a tooth. Really? That's it? That's what you show off, too? Like, not an extravagant quest at all, just, like, a fetch quest? Really? Like, don't show me the best quest in the game, but show me something like that's good. You know, like, this is just not a good quest. And I wouldn't be surprised either if this is like one of the first quests in the game. And if that's the case, that's also bad, because that means this is the most polished area in the game. And Ubisoft said there will be no delays. They're going for August 30th regardless. So I hope Ubisoft can fix the game in that time period, because if they can't, oh, that's gonna be bad. Ubisoft already has no bangers this year because everyone hates the Assassin's Creed game. I mean, like, personally, I don't really care, but like, I wasn't gonna buy it either way. I just don't like Assassin's Creed anymore. It's just not fun. And then Skull and Bones just needed to be Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and they couldn't do that. Like, Skull and Bones sucks. It's terrible. Quadruple A. That's what it gets you. Terrible games. And I'm genuinely curious when these companies will learn to just make things that are good. And I think this time they might actually learn their lesson, because I think this game is gonna flop. Skull and Bones flopped, and I think the new Assassin's Creed game is gonna flop. Maybe they'll finally realize they need to make games that are good. And another issue I see coming for Ubisoft is that they've built up a reputation over the years of making really bad games. And even if they suddenly make a good game, you're gonna have a lot of people like me sitting there looking at it saying, yeah, but like every other game they've made in the past 20 years has been terrible. So why would this one be any good? You're gonna have all of those people looking at your game. This reputation is not gonna go away with one banger, okay? They make one banger, I'm still assuming everything else is bad. Like, all these game publishers are in a really bad spot right now because everything they release, people assume it's going to be bad. There is zero charitability now. And I'm sure some people will say, well, it's bad to assume things are bad, and I agree with you. But it's pretty hard not to when every release is trash. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and give these companies charitability at all when they consistently take my money and give me trash in return. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter @spatnz1 and click the other down, check out more of my content, and have a good one.